Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Hot Take Football. Today, we're going to be going over the Week 2 predictions for the NFL for the second week of the NFL. And of course, for the first game, we have the Chicago Bears versus the Giants, and I'm predicting the Bears to beat the Giants. It's a fairly easy game to predict. The Giants' defense and O-line are pretty terrible this year, and they're going to just make Trubisky look good. But then again, if Trubisky can't throw against this line, you're just going to have to just basically admit until they put in Nick Foles, it's basically just going to have to flip a coin or whether Trubisky will be good. Next thing we got up is we got the Eagles versus the Rams. I'm predicting the Eagles beat the Rams. It's going to be a toss-up kind of similar to the other game, but it's more just going to be the point of can the Eagles O-line hold up long enough for Carson Wentz to just pick apart the Rams secondary. Because as much as Jared Goff can throw the deep ball, he's going to have problems doing that against the Eagles D line. So he's going to have to try and beat the secondary, which I don't think he's going to be able to do that safely if things hold up properly. Like the defense, I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm biased here. I think the Eagles defense should be able to do its job enough that Carson Wentz should keep him in the game proper if he's doing the right job. All right. That's all I'm going to say for that game. The next game we have coming up is Falcons and the Cowboys. I'm picking Falcons beat the Cowboys because Cowboys defense at least didn't look particularly as strong as it has looked prior years. And the Falcons, even though they lost to the Seahawks, were still putting up monster points. I'm thinking if it's going to probably come down to a Matt Ryan versus Dak Prescott, and if it comes down to that, I'm taking Matt Ryan every time, even though he's almost like you almost call him Stat Ryans at some points. Now, either way, that's basically all I really got for this one. I'm just trying to speed run this so I can get it out before the game start. Either way, next game we have is 49ers and the Jets. Honestly, 49ers beat the Jets unless I don't know, if Jesus returns and makes the Jets beat the 49ers. I think that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Apart from that, 99 out of the 1 million, there is 1 out of 1,000,000 simulations of this game where the 49ers lose to the Jets. And trust me, I don't think the Jets are the Avengers, so I'm going with the 49ers. Next game we have up are the Steelers and the Broncos. Steelers defense is honestly, it's got a lot of pressure. They particularly blitzed a lot versus Daniel Jones, and Drew Lock is kind of in a similar spot to Daniel Jones. Is that his O-line isn't as bad as what's going on with the Giants, but he's still gonna have to throw into people like Minkah Fitzpatrick, in the Steelers secondary. So it's gonna be rough going for him, and the only way the Broncos can possibly beat the Steelers is that probably Ben regresses back into his prior year forms of playing down to his competition and being overconfident. But apart from that, even that small possibility, even though it could be a big possibility in games coming up, I'm still on paper Steelers should win this easily. Next game we got coming up are the Bucks and the Panthers. I'm just picking the Bucks to beat them fairly easily. It's Tom Brady. As much as Tom Brady threw those 2 picks last week, I'm expecting him to do a lot better this week, and he's going to have more time to get reps and get timing down right with his receivers, even though it's a different system. Also, you got to remember the caveat that the Saints basically changed nothing from last year, so that's probably another reason why they looked really strong last week. Another key thing is that the Panthers secondary is hot garbage compared to what the Saints can put up in their secondary. So I'm just I don't see any way the Bucks could lose this game. And of course, we got the next game coming up. That's Titans and the Jaguars. I'm picking the Titans to win it. It's just overall they just have a more complete roster. Unless something crazy happens, where the Titans start picking up injury after injury, I think Ryan Tannehill can if Gardner Minshew pulls touchdowns out of nowhere and you're forced into a battle of Ryan Tannehill versus Gardner, I think overall, honestly, I really like the narrative around Gardner. I think Tannehill can keep up with him, and I think the Titans should be able to win the game. Either the game is a close win for Titans, or it's a blowout win for the Titans because the Jaguars collapse. Either way, overall, just Titans win. And the next game we got is Packers and Lions. This is an easy win for the Packers. It's just dirt. I don't even think Rodgers is going to even do as well as he did last week because I think he's just going to be more average than last week. I'm honestly thinking last week is an outlier, and I think anyone expecting Rodgers to throw like that every week is crazy unless proven otherwise. But he is still going to put up a lot of stats because the Lions secondary is all injured. So unless they can get pressure on from their D-line, I don't expect the Packers to break a sweat just winning this game easy. But another key thing is Matt Stafford is just going to basically roll up stats as well, and just because he's still a ridiculous QB and fourth quarter stuff, so it might appear to get close in the fourth quarter, but it still should be a simple win for the Packers. Next game we've got the Bills and the Dolphins. Look, Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's either Fitzmagic or Fitzception, and honestly, I'm thinking it's regressing to Fitzception this year. And overall, the Bills are still a more complete roster, so I'm just going to stick with the Bills to win this. There's not really much more to it at the moment. Next game we got are the Vikings and the Colts. Overall, Vikings are more complete roster. It's kind of similar to the games opposed to more games prior. But the only way they could lose this is that if the Vikings just regress into running the ball 9 times and never letting Kirk Cousins do things, because the Vikings defense particularly in their secondary is, if I recall, are a lot of rookies, and what's going to happen is that Phillip Rivers is just going to 9 out of 10 times be able to just throw the deep. He can still throw deep balls and he's gonna, and unless the Vikings go much more for a Kirk Cousins led offense it's gonna it could go badly for them. And honestly, but the thing is there's still the narrative for Rivers about throwing fourth quarter clutch interceptions. So I'm just as much as that could happen, I'm thinking the Vikings probably will be the better team and will just not do the dumb things and just win the game simple. The next game we got coming up is in the list are the Cardinals and the Washington football team. I'm picking Cardinals to win that. The Washington's Washington's defensive line looked really good last week, ridiculously good. But also the caveat to that is that they're playing against Eagles practice squad offensive linemen because their starters were out due to injury. And the Cardinals offense is just going to air raid all over them. I think they'll make the game look close, but I'm expecting the Cardinals to just blow them out of the water. And I don't think the Washington's offense with Dwayne Haskins, I don't think they can keep up blatantly. That's to put it bluntly. Cardinals win easy. Next game we got over here is just Ravens will beat the Titans. All I have to say about this game is fire Bill O'Brien. And the next game we got up here is the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'm expecting the Chiefs to win that game very much hands down. It's like as much as the Chargers won last week, they won barely because Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow's kicker missed a field goal or something like that. They barely got that with the skin of their teeth, and the Chiefs are even more ridiculous. They're just gonna run this team over so easily. Honestly, I'm thinking week 3 or week 4. They bench Tyrod Taylor. Honestly, that's all I gotta say. Chiefs win. And the last game for tonight, for the Sunday night game, is Patriots and Seahawks. As much as everything says the Seahawks are the stronger team, Russell Wilson, of course, everyone's saying Russell Wilson's just gonna deep ball win the game. I'm just gonna stick with the Patriots. Bill Belichick is really freaking good at game planning and stuff, and he's too good of a coach to just to not play to his team's strengths. I'm concerned that the Seahawks might regress back into just trying to run the ball 20 times. And even if they don't do that, I think if the game plan is for just Russell Wilson to throw deep balls right into the Patriots secondary, which is a key thing, is a strong point of the Patriots defense. I'm thinking Bill Belichick's power run game with his running backs and of course Cam Newton running the ball often. I think that will just control the clock and just basically just never let Russell Wilson onto the field. And plus, an added bonus to that is that the Patriots defense will always be more well rusted. It could potentially just lead to more snowball. And even then, it's also a lot of these run plays are just going to set up more stronger play action into the second half and stuff, and it's just it can very easily turn into a really messy game for the Seahawks, and I'm just going to pick the Patriots as the dark horse winner. That's the games for this week. This is just it's not really more like a podcast. It's more like just a small update for what my picks are for the week. I'll see you Sunday night. Probably I'll have a video up Sunday night just reviewing at least some of the games that I watched, and I'll provide more feedback Monday morning or so about what Monday Night Football is probably going to be and either way, you guys have a good day.